Activating parks on the air is one hell of a good time. So how do you take something really awesome and make it better? RaDAR. Hi there, Chris, W9CZK here, and I am with the Piglets. We are an amateur radio group based out of central Indiana who don't much care where you're at because you can find us at pigletradio.org. Today we're going to be talking about RaDAR. That's Rapid Deployment Amateur Radio. Specifically, how it relates to the POTA program, Parks on the Air. Let me tell you a little bit how it works, and then I'll show you some video from activation where four operators, activated 12 parks within 12 hours. It's pretty fun, so stay tuned.
Stand by for third operator, 73.
73.
Whiskey 9, Sierra Delta Mike, you're at 5-9 into the park. QSL.
Roger, Roger, you're 59 here in Michigan, thanks.
Fourth op.
RaDAR, Rapid Deployment Amateur Radio. Said that before, I'll say it again. It's fun, and the name of the game is to set up a station in multiple locations in quick succession. With POTA, they give out awards based on how many times you can set up, tear down, move, set up, and transmit again within a 24-hour period. If you go to the POTA website, you can see the awards that they give out through their program for RaDAR. They are warthog, rhino, cheetah, ostrich, leopard, and lion. The more locations that you quick deploy at, the higher the award goes. For example, a warthog is fairly easy to get with only 2 activations within 24 hours, and the lion is not quite so easy. It's 12 within that 24-hour period. And just to clarify, you need to travel a minimum distance between locations. If you were in an excessively large park for POTA, you wouldn't necessarily have to leave that park in order to qualify for a second location. You simply need to move that minimum distance. For a car, that's 6 kilometers, a bike is 2 kilometers, foot or paddle is 1 kilometer, and a wheelchair or mobility device is only 500 meters. And this is based on the actual distance traveled, not as the bird flies. So as long as you travel that distance or more between your activations, you can remain within that original park. The last piece of the puzzle is that you need to have contact with 5 hunters before you can move to the next location. It's a bit of a change from the typical Parks on the Air activation. If you know anything about that, you need to have 10 contacts with the hunter before you get credit for activating. Here in the RaDAR program, we're not talking about activating, we're talking about RaDAR. So you only need the 5 contacts before you can tear down, move, and set yourself back up again. So remember, 5 contacts allow you the ability to transition, but it does not activate the park. That happens at 10 contacts. That'll come into play as I tell you about our experience with the RaDAR run. So what was our experience? Well, I've been going to the Dayton Hamvention for a couple of years now, and every time I go, I just go down for the day, I have my fun, and I drive back. We're out of central Indiana, so it's only about a 2-hour drive down to Xenia. Every time I go down, though, I always felt like I was missing so much of the Hamvention. So after COVID, we had the 2-year break from Hamvention, and I saw at DARA, the Dayton Amateur Radio Association, they put out a call for help, and they needed some volunteers. First thing in my head is, of course, I'm going to go down there and volunteer. In fact, I might take some friends with me. So I did a little bit of research, and I decided I'm going to stay at a state park. So that way we could go to the Hamvention during the day and come back to our state park, and we can POTA all night long to our heart's content. So I got online, I started looking around at the POTA website, and you can see all the parks around, and I have never activated any of those before. So I wanted to start activating, and I wasn't just going to activate one, I wanted to activate them all. So I called a couple of friends that were going with me, W9SDM, KD9MEQ, and KC9AAP, and the 4 of us decided we were going to do a RaDAR run. And the easiest way to do it would be to hit every park that we could from Indianapolis all the way out to Dayton on our route down. Seemed like a great idea. It was a good idea. What can I say? We planned out our route, and it took us all the way from Indianapolis. We hit a couple of parks in Indiana, and then once we got to the Dayton area, we started north and worked our way all the way down south. We planned it out. I used MapQuest. Yes, MapQuest still exists. So how is it going to go working one park with 4 activators to try to get contacts really quick? Neither of us knew, so we did the best that we could for planning. We tried to have an antenna that we knew that we could set up quickly and tear down quickly. We wanted to have 100 watts in our radio, so it gave us the best opportunity to get out and actually make that contact. So we took my IC 7300, put it in a go box, and we took a Pactena. I wouldn't really call it a Pactena anymore because it started as one. It was their linked dipole, but I hodgepodged it. I took it apart. I changed it a little bit. I'll post another video about that in a little bit. But we turned it into a kite reel. All of that ran up a spider beam, 40-foot flagpole, the fiberglass mount that was in a hitch mount on the back of the SUV. So all things said and done, we practiced after the first park and we got it up within about 5 minutes, which I think was pretty nice because by the end of the trip, we could actually pull into a park, set up, make all of our contacts, and be on the road again within about 20 minutes, which was amazing. When you have to do that many parks that quickly, it's great. Again, the Parks on the Air program, their RaDAR only allows you 24 hours, but we wanted to crunch it down and do it in 12 because, well, we were in Dayton for the Hamvention. We wanted to have some time for that, right? First contact for the entire trip was kind of sketchy. It was an older man, and he took a long time to realize that he was working 4 activators within this one park. We got through to him, but it really taught us exactly how to communicate with people so they knew exactly what was going on, what was going to happen next, and allowed us to be quick, fast, and efficient. And that came in the form of each one of us identifying ourselves as one of 4. And when we're handing off, we would always say, stand by for 2 of 4, stand by for 3 of 4. It seems kind of redundant, but it was incredibly effective because people would never forget. They'd always have a reminder of where they're at and that there was more operators coming. So it's really critical to spot. Anytime you're doing POTA, spot yourself. There's many different ways you can do that. You don't have to physically spot. You could also use the beacon network to help you spot yourself when you don't have cell phone signal. But David, KC9AAP, that was one of his jobs. Every time we got to the park, he would pull out his laptop and he would spot not just himself, but all 4 of us. The first attempt, we had a lot of kinks to work out. Those fiberglass masts, if you're aware of them, you need to pull the section out and twist in order to lock it in place. I was the mast guy. I didn't do a very good job in the beginning, or the end, or the middle. We'll say is because my arms were getting tired lifting and lowering a 40-foot mast non-stop for 2 days straight can be kind of tiresome. But when you have all that feed line, 45 feet of feed line, you have the balun for the dipole at the top, and you have the weight of the wires, it gets kind of heavy on top of that fiberglass pole. And when I didn't tighten it very well, the mast came tumbling down. This might be a good time to introduce Scott. Here he is, fearing for his life as the fiberglass mast collapsed. We wanted to do 12 parks for the Lion. We were going to try it within 12 hours, and just to make it catchy, we said 12 contacts. For POTA, you only need 10 to activate, but like I said, it had to be catchy. It was the 12, 12, 12. 12 parks, 12 hours, 12 contacts. But if you've noticed what I said, there were 4 operators. We had 4 operators, which meant that at every single park, we needed to have 48 QSOs before we could tear down and move to the next location. It was going to be a long trip. We started super early in the morning. We sat around, we started sharing everything that we'd packed. I brought along those MapQuest maps, and I thought it'd be really great if we lost cell phone signal while at a park, we couldn't navigate ourselves to the next one. We could just see the address or even the printed directions. The real reason it came in handy was that we had a following of hunters. They stuck with us from park to park as we moved for the entire day. So it was really great to not have to look up on our phones, but we could just turn a page and we could see exactly what the travel distance is between each park. We knew that it would take us 5 minutes to tear down, so add in that travel time, we could tell them definitively, hey guys, look out around this frequency, we'll be back in about 30 minutes. And lo and behold, as soon as we keyed up, everyone was there waiting for us. So it was a very great tool to have. And another wonderful example is that Derek, KD9 MEQ, he brought this insanely large toolkit. It's in the form of a backpack, and it's basically a mobile electronics shop. And it's huge, but it came to save our butts. At the first park, our mast fell apart. The cap came right out of it, and we had to rebuild the mast, and it's not a big deal, but you know what? Here comes his electronics kit, pulled out some electrical tape, we taped that cap back on, and I guarantee it's not going to come off for a long time. But actually at another park, we started to get some signal reports from people saying it sounded like our mic was cutting out. Well, we did a little bit of troubleshooting, and actually proud of how long it took us to figure it out, but at the top of that Pactena link dipole, it uses that, I think, 26 gauge copper coated wire. At the very top of it, there was one strand holding on for dear life. And I think once we started keying up and talking, then it would cut out on us. So we pulled it down, and Derek, in his bag of tricks, had a USB-C soldering iron. So there you go. Don't judge what someone else brings, because I never thought we'd have to rebuild antennas, but there we were. We knew that we were going to start a little bit of a video series when we ran this RaDAR run, we call it. So we brought along GoPros, we try to have some fun and record stuff, and of course, as our first video ever goes, it didn't go very well. We lost a lot of our footage. Every time it seemed that we set up that GoPro, something terrible happened to us. But the storms moved in, we were not able to make the contacts for the remaining 3 parks. So we did get to Cedar Creek State Park, that's where we camped at. There were a lot of other people there for the Hamvention, which came to save our butts. Because about 10:30 at night that night, David came walking up to our tent, wrapped on the zipper a little bit, and said, hey guys, wake up, I have a contact for us. And it turns out he didn't have just one contact, he had 2 contacts on VHF from within the park. And when they had the 2 contacts, that left us with 3 more to make. And that was perfect in our group, because we were a group of 4. We just grabbed our HTs and we made contact from tent to tent about 20 feet away, or from cot to cot about 3 feet away. But we technically got our activation, or should I say the RaDAR run. We didn't have enough to activate that park. But that'll come back the next day, because we went to Hamvention. We were volunteers, as I said before. We had a wonderful time. If I could suggest to anyone to go out there and volunteer and work for them, it's an amazing experience. But when we were done, we were all sitting around at a very late lunch. I think it was about 4 p.m. Maybe a little bit before, but we were sitting around at lunch and we were talking. And I told everyone, hey guys, hear me out. Well, that's when the idea came. And we wanted to go for the RaDAR run part 2. Part 2 run, we couldn't do all brand new parks. We did most of them the day before. So this time we would go back to parks we were already at, which was kind of good because they were all in the Dayton area. We didn't have to drive from Indianapolis down to Xenia. That saved us 2 hours right there. So we left for the second trip at 4:30 p.m. and it was a good idea. Fun at least. The most enjoyable part of that second run is that we were in the Dayton area while Hamvention was going on. So we certainly weren't the only people activating these parks. When we first started out on the initial RaDAR run, there were 4 of us outside hunched over a small camp table that we took the 7300 out and we set it down right on top of that table, which was perfect. It seemed like a great idea, but the second day we were out in the heat of the day. We started at 4:30 in the afternoon. It was hot, muggy, and miserable. So Scott, he had the brilliant idea, well, why don't we just take that 7300 and put it on the console of the car, just let it sit there, so when we get to the park, we don't have to take it out or connect the battery. We just leave everything hooked up except for the antenna, and then boom, our life changed. Because on the first trip down, we had 2 vehicles. Remember we were carpooling? Well, this time, since we're in the area, we shared 1 vehicle. And it was one very nicely appointed Lincoln Navigator. So inside it had leather seats with massaging features. I never knew a car had massaging seats, but you best believe I took advantage of that. And we just enjoyed ourselves immensely because we didn't have to stand outside in the heat. But like I said, when we were at that park, a lot of people came walking over to us and were looking like, what the heck is going on here? Because we had a perfect process that we did whenever we're activating these parks this time. It was always the same: myself, Derek, Scott, and David. So that's kind of what I got for you for the RaDAR run. You know, share a little bit about what we were doing and how we had fun with it. But now I got a little bit of video for you. You know, this is at that park where people started coming over and talking with us. I think this will just give you an idea what it was like to be on the trip. So enjoy, and I'll see you guys again soon.
Lima Sierra.
Whiskey 5 Mike Papa Bravo 95959 QSL.
QSL, you're 59 in Maryland.
Stand by for 2 and 4.
Kilo Delta 9, Mike Echo Quebec, 5 and 9, Kilo 1964, QSL.
QSL, 59 Maryland.
QSL, hand you over to operator 3 up 4.
This is Whiskey 9 Sierra Delta Mike. Please copy your 59 into the park. QSL, my friend.
QSL, you're 59 in Maryland.
Appreciate the 59 into Maryland again. And here is operator number 4. This is Kilo Charlie 9 out. Oh, you're a 59 into the park.
And you're a 59 in Maryland. Thanks for the late shift activation, and I'm sure you guys are having a lot of fun. 73.
Yeah, I bet you can tell. We are having a lot of fun. This is our second attempt at this Lion RaDAR run. We tried doing it yesterday, got the 10, and then the storms came in and kicked our butts. So here we are, attempt number 2. Whiskey 9, Charlie Z, Kilo, QRZ. There was a station ending in Foxtrot, please.
Kilo Sierra 3 Foxtrot. Uniform Alpha.
Kilo Sierra 3 Foxtrot, 59 in the park. 59 in the park. QSL?
QSL, also 5 and 9 in Pennsylvania.
Would you please stand by for second and 4?
Second operator here, Kilo Delta 9, Mike Echo Quebec, 5 and 9, Kilo 1964, QSL.
Thanks for 59, also 59 Pennsylvania.
QSL, please stand by for operator 3 up 4.
This is Whiskey 9 Sierra Delta Mike. Please copy a 59 into the park. QSL.
QSL 59, also 59 Pennsylvania.
Thanks for the 59 into PA. Here is operator number 4.
Thank you for the 59, also 59, and thanks for the 4 of you. Good luck.
That was our pleasure. Thank you very much for hunting. This is Whiskey 9, Charlie Z, Kilo, QRZ.
Kilo India 4, Yokohama, German, uniform. Whiskey Victory, Romeo Kilo Lima. Kilo India 4, Yokohama, Germany, Victor Win.
Yokohama, come back.
Yes, this is Kilo India 4, Yankee Golf Victoria. I have you 59 plus in Western North Carolina.
59, copy that. Thank you very much for coming back to us. Second operator here.
Kilo Delta 9, Mike Echo Quebec, a copy of 5 and 9 here in Kilo 1964, QSL.
QSL. You're 59 in Western North Carolina.
All right, hand you over to operator number 3 up 4.
This is Whiskey 9 Sierra Delta Mike. Copy you at a 59 into the park. QSL.
QSL, I have you 59 in the West North Carolina.
Thanks for the 5-9 in North Carolina. Here's operator number 4. Kilo Charlie 9, Alpha for fun. I've just been informed I've got sunburn, but you're a 5-9 into the park.
USL, you're also 5-9 in the Western North Carolina. This park. I make the park number, please.
No, yeah, it's a Kilo 1964. 1964, you copy?
USL 1964.
Yes, thank you. He got sunburned from walking around at the swap meet at Hamvention today. We'll be back there again tomorrow. Volunteer in buildings number 1 and 2. And this is W9CZK again. QRZ.
Romeo Kilo Lima. Kilo 4 on November.
Whiskey 3 Lima station, please.
Whiskey 3 Lima Oscar uniform. Got you 5-9 plus about 15 here in Maryland. Mike Delta.
I hear you loud and clear, Lou. 5-9 in the park. 5-9. Here's second operator.
Hey, thanks for the activation. Standing by.
Kilo Delta 9, Mike Echo Quebec here. You're coming in 5-9, Kilo 1964, QSL.
Kilo Delta 9, Mike Echo Quebec, Whiskey 3 Lima Oscar uniform, 5-9 plus 15, Maryland.
QSL, hand you over to operator 3 of 4.
Standing by.
This is Whiskey 9, Sierra Delta Mike. Lou, I get you to 5-9 into the park. Kilo 1964, QSL.
Whiskey 9, Sierra Delta Mike, 5-9 into Maryland. Mike Delta, or 5-9 plus 15 into Maryland. This is Whiskey 3 Lima Oscar uniform.
I will love to have a 10-10-10 into Maryland. Here is number 4. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Alpha Pond. I'm nicer than the previous operator. You're a 5-9 plus 20.
Kilo Charlie 9, Alpha Papa, 5-9 plus 15 into Maryland. Mike Delta.
73s, thank you for hunting us. This is Whiskey 9 Charlie Z Kilo again. We have a couple of people who've been following us through this whole trip here. A couple of people, we are friends up north. Victor Echo or Victor Alpha Station, please.
Yeah, Victor Echo 3,
That's Victor Echo 3, Papa, Yankee Juliet.
QSL.
The 5-9 in the park, 5-9, QSL.
Yeah, QSL, also 59.
Alright, coming out for second operator.
Second operator here, Kilo Delta 9, Mike Echo Quebec. I got you 5-9, Kilo 1964, QSL.
QSL, that is perfect signal, also 59.
Copy the 5-9, hand you over to operator 3 of 4.
This is Whiskey 9, Sierra Delta Mike. Please copy your 5-9 into the park. QSL, my friend.
Yeah, we're going to get confused. Also 59.
I'd love to have that 59 from Ontario, and here is number 4. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Alpha Papa. You're a 5-9 as well. Go figure, right?
Yeah, go figure, David. I appreciate it. You're also 59, Jerry in Toronto.
73, thank you very much for hunting us. This is the last call. Last call. We have time for one more contact. Here we go. QRZ.
Victor 8, Romeo Kilo Lima. Whiskey 4, Bravo Alpha. Whiskey 4, Lima uniform.
We got a Whiskey Victor 8 station, please.
Whiskey Victor 8, Romeo Kilo Lima. Get you 5-9, Whiskey Victor.
Yes, we have you 5-9 and over here in the park. 5-9 and over. Here's station number 2.
Kilo Delta 9, Mike Echo Quebec. Copy a 5-9, beautiful signal here in a Kilo 1964, QSL.
Kilo Delta 9, Mike Echo Quebec. Got you 5-9, Whiskey Victor.
QSL, hand you over to operator 3 of 4.
This is Whiskey 9, Sierra Delta Mike. Please copy a 5-9 into the park. QSL.
Whiskey 9, Sierra.